Hi everybody. Now, I know a lot of the videos I've been doing lately have pretty much been all of these 2011 movie reviews. And for those of you who like my normal videos, like my vlogs or my other stupid stuff, I got more coming. I'm working on a short film right now. So I'm just doing these reviews to hold the time over. Now, as I said at the end of the Around the Country review, my next review was going to be the trilogy by Nacho Cerda, Afermath, Genesis, and The Awakening. I'm going to go in order by when they air, or like the order the short films play on this. The first one that plays is The Awakening. Hey, let me close the door so the TV doesn't interfere. Alright, well, these are all by Nacho Cerda. I think that's how you say his name. All three of these short films, The Awakening, Afermath, and Genesis, they're all silent. No dialogue in them. It's just like this music and the video. There's no dialogue in all three of them. All three of them are silent. Starting off with The Awakening, since that one comes for... I know this is a dark cover. I don't know how well you're seeing this, but it comes in like this blue case. I know there's a discontinued DVD version of this. Like, here you just see the girl's body with like a bra and a skirt on in the corner right here, and once again this case is blue. I know there's an explicit one that actually shows a body all cut up on the table like that, and the case is red. So personally, I know the collectors all go after that one. Personally, I don't really care. And then I think nowadays they just make this one in a black case, but I don't know. I bought this one and it came in a blue. So The Awakening's really short. It's only like 5 minutes long. It's an opening. It was shot in black and white with this really old-looking camera. It looked like it was from the 60s. Pretty much all that these are all very, very strange. I'll start off by saying that. The Awakening, it's in a high school class. One of the students falls asleep, and then he like wakes up and everybody's frozen. Like, alright, say this DVD was like moving like this magically, and I fell asleep, I woke up, it would just be like frozen. All time is pretty much frozen around this kid. And then once he gets up, he starts looking around. Then all of a sudden you get these really brief cuts of him laying on the floor with all the other students giving him CPR. And then like this, then it cuts back to him where everything's frozen. Then this angel type person walks into the room. He walks with it out the door and it ends. That's exactly what happens. What I just told you is exactly what happens. And that pretty much sets a tone for the two 45-minute, half-hour shorts that are yet to come. This thing is only 75 minutes in running time. Like, Afermath and Genesis are both like 27 minutes. And The Awakening's only like 10, as I said. Alright, well, then we'll go to the main one that's on here, Afermath, the one that probably most people buy this for. So, Afermath is Afermath is also the one depicted on the cover and depicted on the disc. But Afermath, is there any pictures in there? No, there's only a picture of the coroner on the back cover. Well, this movie, there's really no plot to it. All it is, it's a coroner. Like, first 10 minutes of it are doing autopsies on dead bodies, which already was kind of, because you see full nude male bodies being, like the coroner, it's really disturbing of it. I truthfully looked away because just couldn't watch that male naked bodies having the coroners perform on autopsies. That just kind of grossed me out. And then there are two coroners. Then one of them leaves, and then the other one is left in the room with this body of this woman. Right here, she's in like this pink mini skirt with a bra. And what he does, he pretty much molests the body. Onophilia, I think they call it, or something like. He starts like, you see him, he climbs on the body, and it's a very messed up, gory. It's gory Aftermath. It's not really. If you're new to watching horror movies, like I've seen, all these, because I didn't see this till Christmas of 2010. So I pretty much saw a bunch of stuff, and if you let's try watching some horror. Well, I've never watched a horror movie before in my life. I'll watch Aftermath. That sounds pretty interesting. Aftermath is not something you want to see if you were a first timer to horror movies. It is pretty disturbing. And then at the end, you see the coroner come home. He cut out the heart and took it home. He puts it in a blender, which is a pretty gory scene, because you see him put it in the blender and you see it getting all chopped up. That was gross of a scene. And then he feeds it, he puts it in the dog bowl, and you see the dog eating it. That really bothered me. It's just like, why is he doing this? What the hell kind of twisted? Then he sits down and watches TV, and then it's like zooming in on the newspaper, and apparently the girl whose body, I can't remember what the name of the girl is, but I know it said her name with "rest in peace" under it on the newspaper. She hasn't rested in peace. Well, is Aftermath. That is a weird. I don't know if you could get it separate. I think The Awakening, Aftermath, and Genesis can all only be found in this DVD. Show you the back. Well, Aftermath, that's very gory. It's very disturbing. If you have a weak stomach, don't watch it. I'm prone to a lot of movies. I don't really get grossed out that well. But Aftermath, Aftermath was messed up. So, watch at your own risk for Aftermath. Now we're moving to the last one. It's way more toned down than Aftermath. Now we're on Genesis, the third and final short film in this little trilogy. Well, this one is really hard to explain. Genesis. It opens, we see first of all, the star of Genesis is the guy that played the twisted coroner in Aftermath. I don't really know his name. Genesis, Aftermath had this creepy score playing the whole time. The music playing in Genesis is like this sad piano music. Because Genesis, I guess you could say, has more of a sad tone than Aftermath. Well, definitely does. Genesis is a kind of a drama type. It's about this artist type guy. He's a sculptist. He makes sculptures. And his wife gets killed in a car accident. So he builds this life-size statue of her. As you see on the cover right there. He builds that life-size statue of her. And he... The more, as I said, it's really hard to explain. The more he builds, this one night he puts the sheet over it, kind of makes it look like a ghost. Because when he turns all the lights off in his station there, for some reason the cloth he puts over it is still glowing, and it makes it look like a classic little ghost. And throughout there are these, things that pop out like that. Of car accidents and stuff like that. Just like car accidents popping out. Or pictures of wrecked cars just jumping out at you like that. didn't really get startled. I mean, those things really don't startle me that much. I don't really get startled too easy by anything. And he's finding all these holes in the statue, and the statue starts bleeding, which again is on the cover there. And the more the statue bleeds, the more flesh comes out of the statue, the more the guy turns into a statue. It's really tough. Say, like, there's this one scene, her arm was, like, completely made of blood. Well, his arm was completely a statue. And that, once again, unlike Afermath, which can sadly actually happen, this is really bizarre. Because at the end, the sculpture shatters and the wife that got killed comes out of it. But when she comes out of it, the sculptor is fully into a statue, and he's now dead. And I'm like, what? The sculptor fully gets turned into a statue because the statue turned into his dead wife, and the wife came alive. And then, like, in the ending shot of the movie, it's the woman, his wife, just looking at his statue from across the room. They're just, like, looking, like, she starts, like, crying. And then, like, the final shot of Genesis, like, the statue, he's posing like this. Like, with his arm reaching out. I think this right here is actually from Genesis, like, the inside book. That right there is a picture still from Genesis. And, you know, it gives you a bunch of information on the inside, and the pretty graphic picture on the back there. And once again, the disc looks just like the movie. But other than that, these are three very strange. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just saying they're very strange films. Afermath is gory and gross as hell. Genesis is really strange. And The Awakening was like the Nacho Cerda's first attempt at anything. There's a bunch of making of Afermath and commentary on all three. You know, a ton of special features, but I mean, these are not movies that could have full-length features. No. God help us all if they did that with Afermath. Genesis, I guess, it might happen. Then The Awakening might just pose for a single scene in a movie, but other than that, these are okay. This DVD's kind of hard to find now. I think for Christmas when I got it, it was like $20, I think it was. So that's pretty much it. These are okay. The one I liked the best, The Awakening, was okay, but it was like really short, didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Afermath was because it was like really, really disturbing. Then Genesis was okay, but so I would, I'd say if you get this, it's really rare. So I mean, collectors, you know, if you're into horror movies, you know, get this. It's a collector's item. If you're really into gore films, I'd get this. It's not for anybody though. If you don't really watch horror movies that much, or you're not really a horror fan, you probably won't like this. And if you don't like silent movies, then don't watch this, because there's not one word of dialogue in this entire film. Or in the films, I should say. So, that is my review of the Nacho Cerda Trilogy, Afermath, Genesis. It's by Unearthed Films. The only other Unearthed Films DVD I own is Frankenhooker. Except this movie wasn't really as disturbing. They were by the same company, but DVDs were at least. But Frankenhooker wasn't really as disturbing. Alright. I have not planned what... Alright, I'll review this next. Alright, people. My next review for my 2011 movie reviews is gonna be an Australian film. Dead End Drive-In. Ooh. Alright, stay tuned for that.